Welcome to the Barker Podcast Collection.
I suck, you suck, I suck at Call of Duty.
Welcome to the Not Playing Podcast. My name's Rob Howard, and this week I'm joined by
Ian Bruce,
Patrick Kay,
and Adam Scott. Hello.
You can contact us on email at notplayingpodcast@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter at notplayingpod. Right, so there's been quite a lot of shouty complaints about all this paid mod support for Skyrim on Steam. The internet's been going crazy about it, and I mean, it's all kind of resolved itself now, really. But originally, the idea was that Bethesda and Valve had agreed to basically allow modders to get paid for their work. However, the percentages weren't, well, they were controversial to say the least, and the internet got very loud and noisy about it. So, I mean,
how has it been resolved now?
Well, they've stopped
Valve
doing
have
it.
pulled it. They've
okay.
said we didn't know what we were doing. It's clear that you don't want it, so we're removing it from the store.
Hurrah! Shouty internet wins again.
Good work.
Well, I don't know about wins again. Shouty internet very often doesn't win at all.
No, I know.
They just sound like shouty internet.
Yeah.
But I think in this case, it's a difficult one because I think most people agree that modders should have a avenue
Incentive.
to market for making what they do. It is a tricky one because I think, but it's the problem for me with this is that when you pay for a product that someone else has made, you expect it to work and you expect to get your money's worth. And I don't mind downloading 10 crappy mods and finding they don't work and then going, oh, that looks alright, but it's a bit disappointing, I'll just uninstall it.
Yep.
If I download 10 crappy mods and they don't work very well, or they do work but they're just really poorly advertised and the lighting's terrible and the textures are awful and it's really linear and dull, and I paid £2, I'm going to shout my head off about it, and I want my money back.
Yeah.
Now, in this environment that Steam was putting up, that was pretty much, well, you had 24-hour, there was a 24-hour refund period in which you could get your money back, no question, or not money back, sorry, you get store credit, no questions asked, but you could only, because of the conditions of service, if you'd got one refund, you then couldn't get another refund for 7 days. So, yeah.
Wow.
So better not, only one mod at a time, folks. I think part of that was to stop people, downloading a load of mods, playing the hell out of them for 24 hours and then refunding them all, and which I can understand, but it's breaking, I think the idea behind it was quite noble. And actually is something that should be encouraged. Modders having a route to sell their stuff, but I think the way it was implemented was not very good.
And what about the? I'm very glad it stopped. Definitely. What about that? If a modder releases a mod and then Bethesda patch Skyrim and the mod stops working, there was no incentive or requirement for the modder to update their stuff to work with whatever.
Well, that was one of the main things that people were shouting about, because the thing about the Skyrim modding community, and I assume this is fairly true amongst a lot of the others, is the iteration on each other's work.
Yes.
And it's not just so much. I mean, with Skyrim, you'd actually probably be reasonably safe. They're unlikely to be doing any more big patches or whatever. I don't think they're any more DLC planned or anything like that. But obviously,
it was the overlapping mods, though, wasn't it? Some mods don't work with this one or work better with this one.
This is the problem. You could pay for a mod, found it conflicted with something else that you paid with, and then it's like,
which one do
I
I
return the mod
I
want? I can't mod that one now, but I'd prefer to have that one than this one.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. And then you had other people saying, my mod's free, but it requires this mod that someone else is going to charge you for.
Yeah.
And there was more than one occasion where somebody had released a mod like 18 months, 2 years ago, hadn't done anything of it. As soon as this thing came up, all of a sudden it got an update, and people's free mods then had pop-up ads coming up saying, please buy the premium version. It was one of the Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It was one of the spell ones where it was like a 4 or 5% chance every time you threw a spell. It was a pop-up saying, "Please buy the premium version."
Oh God.
Yeah, I know. And a lot of the content got pulled off in favour of the premium version.
Okay.
And you can understand why a lot of people got their backs up.
Yeah, definitely.
One of the reasons I've still got Skyrim installed is because I can't be bothered to deal with the whole compatibility nightmare of all the mods. I managed to get it working all right, and now I'm like, I'm just leaving it alone.
Well,
so I'm
I mean, I haven't played Skyrim that much, but I know that you guys have. And I mean, Pat, you must have had 100 of mods. I mean, you had loads of mods on yours, didn't you?
Yeah, dozens. Well, yeah. I think it was probably around about 60-ish or something like that, I think, when I last played
Wow.
it.
Yeah,
now imagine paying
40.
$2 each for all those mods.
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't happen, would it? And that's I think that's the thing, is that, the community is so well. I keep saying the community. That's what people were going on about. You've broken the community. Everyone, and actually, because there was an awful lot of people being at each other's throats. Modders were coming up saying, "Well, come on a minute, guys. I mean, I know it's always been free, but and it's a very valid point that people have said, oh, well, mods are always free. It's a hobby." And it's like, well, of course it was a hobby because people didn't have any route to market for their product. And a lot of people were saying, well, it should have been a donate button. It's like, well, I think that's true, but I would be interested to see the stats on mod downloads versus donations made. Because I bet there wouldn't be very a lot of them.
Other modders have made a good career in the games industry from modding to start with, and then using that as something on their CV to get a jump into.
They work at Valve now.
Yeah,
Or some of them do.
Or they make Rust or something like that. These are all they've done stuff with other people's IP and then gone on to do other stuff. And I understand why everybody was very angry, and I have been a bit dismissive of that and a bit again. But
I think in this case there was some justification, but I agree that there was certainly a lot of entitled whining as well.
Yes,
about I don't like paying for stuff. Full stop.
I wish there was like a thermometer of right. You've made your point now. And the internet, like
Well,
it got up to here and then just
when you
shut
reach
up
it.
because it just goes. It's going round and round and round with the same shit, and it's a bit dull.
And
Gabe's got one of those in his office, and basically when it gets to the top, he's like, "Oh, okay, I have to
I better go
reply
on
now."
Reddit.
And that's the interesting thing with Gabe on Reddit, where he did that AMA from the airport.
Yeah.
So what I don't really understand is, Gabe is Valve, right? Gabe is...
Well, he's the CEO.
He's the top dog, and yet he didn't really seem to have a fucking idea what was going on with this. So,
Well, I think we have to be honest here. Gabe was in damage control. He wasn't there to calm people's nerves or actually do it. He was there to try and say, okay, well, I am your god, PC Master Race. I'll come down and say some words to you. But he didn't do himself a lot of favours because he didn't really answer any questions. Not that you could have told that, because everyone's downvote training him to hell.
yeah. But it also said... There was certainly some posts in there where he said, I didn't know about that. I didn't... Not that... I'm sure he knew about the whole thing, but he didn't know about this specific element of it.
I think the stuff he didn't know about was there were people complaining about their complaints getting censored, and they were getting community bans and stuff like that. And he was saying, no, that's stupid. That shouldn't be happening. I'll go and sort that out.
Yeah.
And people not being able to access Steam, because I think there was... I find it hard to believe that the reaction was so unforeseen. But they may have thought there might have been a bit of resistance to it, but I don't think they were expecting quite the nasty backlash. Because, to be fair, it is an extension of what they've been doing for a long time. Gabe is on record over a number of years saying he wants Steam to be a content delivery platform, and he wants it to be a self-publishing platform for people.
Yeah.
Now, this is this is actually a logical extension of that, but just people logging on and finding that, oh shit, I've now got to pay for everything, without any kind of trail or interest or softening people up. I mean, let's not be under any mistake here. This isn't going to go away.
No.
This is going to be implemented a new thing. I think a lot of people have said, actually, if it was a brand new thing, if it was a brand new game that was built modern, it was built from the game up to support this, nobody would have batted an eyelid, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that they were breaking into a community that was well established.
Yes.
Had done the game, had made it, if the modder scene hadn't been there and doing what it was doing, Skyrim probably wouldn't have anywhere near the longevity that it's had up to now.
Absolutely.
And I think that's a real issue. And also the revenue share was a bit eye-opening for a lot of people.
It was a bit like apps in the Apple Store.
Well, yeah.
There's a 70-30 split there, and nobody bats an eyelid about that.
No, indeed. And this is the thing, because actually the 25% split is... Well, I think 30% split to the hoster is industry standard. I was reading something today, I forget where it was, but someone was saying, 30% going to Steam, for instance, would have been absolutely fine. That is industry standard. I think it was in Bethesda's response, actually, they were saying, it's right that Steam get 30%, they're doing all the hosting, they put the mechanisms in place.
They were likening it to like what Amazon Kindle Worlds gives. They give 15 to 25% of the profits.
Yeah, and I think
because they're writing fan fiction. So
exactly. Yeah. So it's not that, but I think obviously there's a 40. If you assume that Steam is entitled to take a 30% split, you've then got a 25% going to the mod creator, and the rest going to Bethesda. And a lot of people were pissed off about that because it's like a lot of these mods are there to fix the bugs that you left in the game and didn't bother addressing.
But a lot of them aren't as well.
Yeah, this is true.
I paid $99 for horse genitalia, and while I'm certainly appreciating the extremely well-designed horse knackers clobbering around when I'm following my horse, there was no bug there. That wasn't a bug that the horse didn't have testicles. That was somebody's choice to make the testicles and charge $99 for them, which was quite reasonable, I thought.
You just needed that level of verisimilitude, didn't
Absolutely,
you?
Well, but it's gone now.
It's gone now, but it will be back. I'm not sure if it was Bethesda or Valve that said it, but they said more games are coming to paid mods on Steam soon, and many will be at 25%, and many won't. And they'll figure out what's right for them and the community, and if it needs to change, they'll change it.
Was that before they pulled it? Was that released before they pulled it?
No, that was. This was the original story on Eurogamer was at midday today, and that was Bethesda's response. So they're obviously saying that they obviously know they've worked with Valve closely enough to know that Valve are pitching this to other publishers and other games and stuff.
I think it's. I think it's all been gone, but I think there will be a certain amount of licking of wounds from this. I mean, I think Gabe said something like when he was responding on the IMA, he was saying, "Well, I think we've made like $10,000 or something from this, and it's cost us over $1 million in the email mop-up and support." So, but obviously that was the first weekend, and they must be expecting a huge surge. And I don't know how he's calculated his support costs, but it's it has to be dealt with. Anyway, we'll see what happens, won't we?
Do you think the reaction and the response from the publisher would have been different if EA were doing this with Inquisition or some of the Battlefield stuff?
I think the problem. I don't think anyone would have been surprised. I mean, I think the biggest backlash from this is because it was Valve doing it, who have been such champions in the minds of many games. A lot of people don't trust Steam; they're naturally paranoid. But to be fair, Valve, for all the good that they do, their customer support is legendarily awful. I mean, it's awful. And I have to say, on the few times I've used EA customer support, I've found them pretty damn good.
Yeah, me too.
Much to my surprise, but they're you can chat with someone immediately, they get it sorted out. EA is a lot of cut and paste answers that you might get a week after you raise a ticket. Steam. Valve, Steam's customer support. So I think, people knew there were going to be a lot of issues from this, and then it's like, oh shit, and when it goes wrong, we've got to deal with Steam customer support. And they would come right out the bat saying, this is an uncurated thing, we're not going to modify it, people are doing stuff, it's up to the community to deal with it. So I don't know. I think if EA had done it, I hate to say it, but they probably would have done it a little bit better.
I think it would have been a bloodbath, to be honest, and I think it's for that reason that they generally don't engage with the community in terms of tools and stuff much.
They're very much a hands-off. Thing.
I think they just don't want to get involved.
Well, they know everyone hates them. And actually, they're not as bad as they used to be, EA. I hate to say it, but I don't think they're quite the great Satan that everyone claims them to be.
We've lost him. We've lost
Ubisoft are much worse.
Okay,
Ubi have now taken up the baton.
Yeah.
Where that goes, but
if there are any modders listening and you're new to it, it may be worth setting up a Patreon where you can ask people to give you a certain amount of stuff per month, thus bypassing all this bullshit from or potential bullshit from developers and all the rest of it.
Indeed.
There may be some legal wranglings about if you're making money off other people's IP.
Yeah, there is. There's a huge amount of legal stuff. You have to be careful.
But
Yeah, none of us here would ever do anything like that.
no, but there must be other ways to get value for your time, or get reward for your time, and getting a job in the industry may be one, and that may be a good enough reason to start modding. It's a free and easy way to start.
Well,
Get your toe in the door, toe in the water, foot in the water.
There are a lot of people. There are a lot of people that have got a career in the industry from that have started off doing mods. And while I don't want to be that guy that starts going, but I don't want to pay for someone else's hobby. I think that's the place to start, isn't it? Because I know that there are plenty of games that if I had the time, I would have wanted to. I used to make content for Free Space, in my free time because I loved it and I wanted to do it, and I gave it, and I was quite happy. I published a couple of things up for free, and it was I really, really enjoyed it. If I could have got paid for it, made a career of it, then yeah, I would have done. But I don't think I don't think this article should stop anyone from wanting to go and mod games.
No, not at all. I'm not suggesting people should demand a Patreon for their stuff to be released, but it may give you more incentive to carry on with what you're doing if you get a couple of bucks every month because you're creating the horse genital mod for Skyrim.
Yeah. Maybe not that mod.
You've not seen it, mate. You didn't pay the $99, did you? It might have been a load of balls, but what quality balls they were.
Were there female horse genitalia?
Who cares in female horse? They're too attractive.
Nice.
Female horse genitalia.
Flabby horse lips.
There's enough restraining orders for me on female horse genitalia. Anyway.
Oh well.
Are these interactive? These.
I think interactive is open to interpretation.
The movement's analog, so yeah.
Do they work well with the wet and cold mod? Is that of interest?
One of the unexpected benefits was it was a great holster for my wand. So, well done, modders. Very useful. Dual-purpose mods. Excellent.
Oh well.
Can we move on now?
Yeah, I just wanted to get to while we were on the subject of Valve's wonderful customer support. One other thing they did do recently was clamp down on spamming, and their approach was to literally really restrict the amount of features that are on Steam until you have paid $5 for stuff.
What? Article's not loading. Okay.
So basically, well, the thing is, I was getting loads of like friend requests and stuff. I don't know if you guys have, just from like randoms who
hey,
clearly
my
weren't.
wants to add you. He wants to trade with you.
No, because I'm not fun enough.
They don't need to be your friend to trade with you. They can just buy your shit.
Ian sits in the humdrum V.
Gently caressing
anyway,
my horse testicles, right?
Well, anyway, that seems to have tailed off a bit now that they've introduced that. But yeah, just thought I'd mention it because it seems quite controversial on a first glance. But really, who hasn't spent at least $5 on Steam?
I haven't.
Use it.
I've not got it installed. I've never used it.
That is a lie.
It is. I think I've up
As
to
the last
300
20
games.
minutes was proof enough. So yeah, there was that. Has anyone had any grief in terms of like spam and stuff on
Not really.
Steam lately?
I'm not on it long enough, and I have nothing to trade. So
I think I've had a number of friend requests that I need to just check who they are.
Yeah,
And I have to fucking sign in to do that. Fuck's sake. Right.
Anyway, so yeah, that was a thing. Another thing was 2K Australia closed its doors after making. They did some stuff for 2K. They were doing like Borderlands, the pre-sequel, and they did I think one of the BioShocks as well, and that XCOM, the Bureau. They did. But them shutting they are the last remaining AAA studio operating in Australia, so that's a bit of a shame for any aspiring developers.
is that
down under.
Was that a trend? Is that something to do with the mechanics of doing business out there? I don't know, because the Australian government isn't very is quite right wing as far as computer games are concerned, aren't they? Isn't there
They
lots
have
of
massive, massive
difficult?
censorship there, don't they? I think.
Do they make it difficult for them to do business or something, or is it just the economics of running a studio out there? I don't know.
The games are ridiculously expensive out there. I know that much, and I know
But
that
they'll let you throw a shrimp
censorship
on a
is-
barbecue. Shocking.
But yeah, they I think their censorship is pretty tight out in Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's just a logistical thing for 2K and the direction they're going in. I mean, they've got it's Gearbox published through them, don't they? And they haven't got Irrational anymore. They've downsized. So yeah, I don't really know. I just pointed it out really because yeah, it's just a shame that that's it for Australia really, unless you want to go indie. But you know,
always an
that might not
option.
be bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's always an option.
Like paintballs.
Yeah. I'm just going through some of the more like sort of industry sort of focus stories before we get into some games and that. But yeah, so following that, Windows 10 is due for release at the end of July,
Excellent.
which I think we all thought was going to be a thing that happened fairly soon.
Is that DX12 as well, or not DX12?
I don't know if they are mutually exclusive anymore. But
Please
yeah,
DX12. That would be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be
this is a bit of a leak.
So not confirmed.
It's a bit of a leak. This came via way of AMD apparently in an earnings call. So
Okay.
Sorry, yeah,
But
just read
they
it.
have
It is with
mentioned-
DX12.
It is.
is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
cool.
Thank fuck.
exciting
Okay.
times.
And that should be a big boost for gaming performance.
And VR performance.
Oh, is it DX12? Is that what's going to halve performance by, or increase performance by 50% or something?
Hope it doesn't halve it. That would not
Allegedly.
that would not
Yeah.
be good. That would kill
Yeah.
VR.
That would be the Ubisoft approach to halve it.
Ubisoft
So
approach, yeah.
Well,
More
you can't
It's more
see.
cinematic.
Yeah.
It's more cinematic.
You can only really see half the screen
Experience.
anyway. So
Yeah,
No, that's
according
great.
to
That's excellent news.
PC World, DirectX 12's potential performance leap is insane. Frame rates to more than double, apparently.
now everybody's going to have to check their graphics cards work with DX12. aren't they?
Yeah, exactly.
If mine doesn't, I will be sending it
Fairly
back.
sure yours does. Don't think mine does.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I read that it would work with all existing graphics cards. So I don't
Does
think
the
we need to-
game need to be optimised for this?
Pretty sure that's
DX12?
not the case. It's not all graphics cards.
Okay, well, I think unless you've got a real old piece of junk, you should be fine because they're not going to make this for just the very latest stuff,
Listen
are they?
to the 970 owner.
I suppose it's all
You mean
right
like
for
a
me to
card
say.
that's- or
An
a
old
7
card that was released like 6-7
Wow.
months ago or something, you know.
Don't worry, I feel like my card is fairly modest. I didn't get to turn everything up on GTA for God's sake. So
Wow, really?
speaking of which, brilliant
Apart from the granny
segue.
death.
They're making a biopic
Oh,
of.
really?
It's actually based on a book that I have on a shelf, and I was just looking for it. I think it's called Jacked, and it's all about the history of them making Grand Theft Auto and all the controversy that the Sam Houser had, and that his dealings with Jack Thompson and stuff. So they've got Daniel Radcliffe playing Harry Potter himself, playing Sam Houser, and he will be playing opposite Bill Paxton, who will be playing the role of Jack Thompson. So that should be quite interesting.
I hope he says game over, man, game over. That would be excellent.
Yeah. They're
Who's
filming
making
it
this?
right now, I think. The BBC.
The Baba Sir?
They are, yeah. So, yeah, I'm quite interested to see how this turns out, really.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully they'll give Jack Thompson the credit he deserves for standing up for such a filthy piece of software.
For that, that evil, corrupting. Oh,
Yeah.
whatever.
One day he'll be proved right, and you'll all be laughing on the side of your a-holes.
One day Jack Thompson will be right, did you say?
One day he'll be proved right.
Yeah.
The murder rate spikes. Grannies lying in the
Wow.
streets with their feet raped.
Oh, you haven't got GTA 5, have you?
No, I'm not going
There's
to.
definitely going to be a Daily Mail reader contingent for later discussions or discussions in a couple of weeks. Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm
Writing
sure
the
Jack
article as we
Thompson would
speak.
just. Yeah, Jack Thompson's all about, like, if you want to go to LA, like, go to LA, like, rather than just have it at home. But just got some release dates here. Just going to quickly run through some of these because most of them will probably have occurred by the time you hear this. So first of all, Kerbal Space Program, which has been like available forever, is finally getting version 1 on the 27th of April, which was yesterday.
It's been in good condition for ages as well.
Oh yeah, I know people who have played hundreds of hours
Viewers
of
of the
this.
YouTube may or may not know of the Scott Manley who does this kind of stuff.
Scott Manley.
Aye, Scott Manley. And many other sci-fi games, space games of all description. And it looks really good. I wish I could find the time to not murder grannies in GTA and code stuff and watch TV and have a wife and all the rest of it, because I would spend hours in KSP. Absolutely hours. I will have to breed and produce a child who wants to be a spaceman, and then we will spend hours in KSP.
Yeah, because you'll have so much time if that happens.
No, that's how it's going to be, mate. By the time they're 3, well, no, that's how it works.
Where's your first spaceship?
That's how it works for yours.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I've got some friends who only stopped playing this because Elite came out. So yeah, I've heard it's very addictive because the idea is it's like a physics project, isn't it? Where you launch.
You build spaceships, launch them, and hope they don't crash.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And make
like
space stations. And in version 1, you can do mining as well, which is always good.
Hurrah!
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, Karen.
Okay, the next one I've got is Project Cars. This finally has a release date of the 8th of May. So, again, probably will have occurred by the time you hear this. But, yeah, I found this funny because it's going to support 12K resolutions. I think that basically is 3 lots of 4, so you can have the free monitor thing going on. But also, even on the console versions, it's going to have, like, proper graphics settings that you can do, so you can tweak it to get like the most frames if you want, because I guess they'll probably set it up for like 30, won't they, and then they'll just go, but if you want it to look a bit worse you can have 60, so, or something, I don't know. But yeah, I know you're looking forward to this one, aren't you, Pat?
Oh yeah, definitely looks great, and I think they were right to put it back. They delayed it a couple of times, didn't they, I think?
Yeah, it was supposed to come out, I think, in March or something. But yeah,
no,
so,
I mean, I think this is going to be a huge deal. I think, I don't know if I'm right on this, but I've kind of seen it as like your go-to car simulator, if that makes sense. Like, you know, it does a lot of different driving styles, a lot of different racing styles, lots of different cars are going to be available, and it just looks super realistic. The physics are really bang on. I just think it's gonna overshadow a lot of things like Assetto Corsa and stuff like that when it's released, which is cool.
Yeah, and in the meantime, you've got the new Colin McRae Dirt game that Codemasters have literally just put out this week. I think it was yesterday, as a PC exclusive, hardcore, full-on rally game, which I think people have been pining for ever since the first game came out on the Xbox 360, I think.
With Rift support, they announced quite recently today,
That's right.
fact. But
apparently it's a little bit early and it's a bit glitchy, and the menus haven't been sorted out for VR yet, but been a couple of videos been put up and people are saying it's a lot of fun. It looks gorgeous as well. Great looking game.
Yeah, rally stuff's a curious one, isn't it? Because you're not racing anyone apart from the clock, really, aren't you?
It's a real... Yeah, it's a real niche thing that I've never really got into as driving games go, but it's got a huge sort of fan base, that kind of driving sim. So yeah, I think it's going to do pretty well, and it makes perfect sense that it's PC only as well. I think they are kind of just targeting those hardcore sim junkies.
surely it'll go to console after a while, though, right?
I
reckon.
I think so. Yeah, it's early access, so I imagine it's just.
Yeah, I think it's PC exclusive because they wanted to do the early access thing. I'm guessing that's the only reason, because you can't do that on consoles. So, yeah. Another game that is also out now is the second part of Broken Age, which I keep forgetting to download the rest of. In fact, I probably just have to download the game again, don't I? And it will come with it. So yeah, it's a free update for everyone who played part 1. And yeah, I've heard mixed things. Apparently they've tried to make the puzzles harder, which I'm not sure I'm a fan of, because I quite like the fact that I was able to play it without consulting a walkthrough or anything. So I don't know if I want any of those like rubber chicken pulley type things going on. But yeah, anyway, that's out, so I'll probably play that at some point. And finally, Heroes of the Storm, which has been getting an awful lot of hype from some podcasts. This is Blizzard's MOBA, and apparently, this is Blizzard once again doing what they do best, and copying other games but doing it better, I think, is the general consensus. I think I think what they're trying to do is make the MOBA genre a bit more accessible, perhaps.
Good luck with that.
That's the impression I get, because it's a genre that is known for zero tolerance, I think.
I don't even know what MOBA means. I should Google it, I suppose. Everyone talks about it, and I keep nodding sagely like I have a fucking clue
I believe
what
it's
about.
to be multiplayer online battle arena.
Oh, that.
It's based.
I know what that means.
They made a mod.
Means, but that's what the initial.
It was Defense of the Ancients was the first one. They made a mod out of Warcraft 3, and then League of Legends happened, and a few others, and then Valve made Dota 2, based on their own engine, I think. And then so Blizzard have gone, they're making a game based on a mod that for one of our games, so we better respond. So this is their response, and I think the idea is that you get to play all those characters from Warcraft and all their other games actually as well, and try and play nicely or not, as the case may very well be.
I consider myself enlightened. Thanks very much.
You've pre-ordered, right? And all the DLC.
I have pre-ordered, yeah.
You don't have to pre-order it.
Awesome.
It's free to play.
No,
it's
never free to play.
Nothing's ever free to play.
Never free.
Well,
except my mum at Christmas.
Blizzard know how to do free to play, I can assure you. You will find out very soon. This has been the Not Playing Podcast in partnership with notlistening.co.uk. You can contact us on email at notplayingpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter at notplayingpod. You can find the show notes for this show at notlistening.co.uk. And if you're listening to us on iTunes, then please do give us a review. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
See ya.
See ya.
I suck at Call of Duty. There's no hope for me. I suck at Call of Duty. I suck at Call of Duty. There's no hope for me. I suck at Call of
Duty. For your silent sneezes when you turned your mic off.
I'm on the case with it tonight. I've got a bit of a croaky throat as well, so
Okay.
yeah, I'm on the case with the mic.
We're spending ages on this. Do you think the response would have been different if... Bless you. Listener, we're all on webcams here, and Rob is muting his microphone, but we can all see him sneeze his little head off.
But it looks like a dainty 5-year-old girl sneezing.
There you go. There's an
Thing.
authentic sniff.
Sniff in it.